and how to become a flight attendant. I'm a flight attendant with a major airline, so I do actually have more tips. I'll leave the link below. It is for purchase, so if you want something more in depth, although I'll give you as many tips as possible on this live. Ain't nothing free in this world, so I'm gonna leave about 70 tips on how you can become a flight attendant. And the reason I know is because I was given, sorry about the hair, like I have to do my hair and this is the only time I have, and I wanted to share these tips to you. Make sure that you like and follow. And I'll just try to fill this up with as much tips for free as possible. And then definitely support me by liking, commenting, asking questions below, sharing your experience if you've ever applied to any airlines. But yes, I will have that link below of more answers and more tips that you can purchase after this live comes out. But while I have you, I'm going to be doing my hair and sharing the tips that I know. So I actually have a lot of information because I have actually, that's the last time I'm going to say actually, I've been a flight attendant for about, I'm a new flight attendant and I'm with a major airline, but my journey has been a long one. It's hard for me to like start from the beginning, but I'll try to start from the beginning. And if you like this, maybe I can do a series. And I'll try to be as open as possible. Of course, there's certain things I can't share. Like I can't share privy information. I can't share company information, like things like that I cannot share. But the tips that I give will definitely get you to the next level because I've been there before. I'm a realtor and I lived in Atlanta and I was really applying for a customer service job. I really wanted a remote job at that time. And I just so happened to be on the website of this particular airline. You guys could probably guess it. I have plenty of stories I'd like to share about this airline. It's a popular airline that a lot of people want to be with, I think because of the brand, but I have a strong opinion about this airline. I'll leave it at that. So I applied online, even forgot I did it. A neighbor of mine, he worked for this airline. He's like, yeah, you should definitely apply. Like, it'll be great. You'll make a great flight attendant. And we became friends. And sure enough, I got the next level after applying to this airline, and I got to take the assessment. I got to take the pre-recorded interview, and then there was a face-to-face. I got my CJO. I was so excited. They brought in, it had to be like, I don't know, I feel like it was like 50 of us. And then at the end, there was only 6 of us. Me and like 5 other people got a CJO that day. And none of the bases that they said would be available were available. So it was a little bit of a switch and bait, but I think it's one of the most well-perceived airlines. Like I said, they have a good brand and a lot of people would want to be with this airline. And I just kind of came off the street and got a CJO. So I'll tell you some tips on how I did it. Excuse my voice. But excuse me. One thing they really love to see on your resume for legacy airlines, major airlines, international airlines, is, excuse me, customer service. So like I said, I worked in sales, I'm a realtor. They love to see that I'm independent, I'm a business owner. I can be managed, on my own without a manager directly there. Like I'm in charge of my business. In real estate, there's high profile clients sometimes. And one thing about being a flight attendant is you're gonna be in the sky in a metal tube, and it's just gonna be you, your crew, and the passengers. So they need to see someone who is autonomous, someone that can follow directions when they're not being micromanaged, someone that is responsible, someone that has customer service skills when the stress is high. So if you have any sales experience like that, like being a realtor or any customer service background, like Chick-fil-A is a great example of high customer service. I have companies, like I worked for Zillow as a remote customer sales real estate agent. They like to see, big names on your resume, but just great training. So if you have sales, customer service, that is one thing that's gonna get you ahead. Another thing that's gonna get you ahead is if you have a medical background. We have a lot of nurses that are flight attendants. We have a lot of EMTs that are flight attendants. We have a lot of medical professionals that are flight attendants, and then also military. If you have a military background, there was a lot of people in my classes, training classes, that were in the military at some point. You have to be very regimented. Military is always on time. They need to see that you are on time, that you are disciplined, that you can follow directions. And well, the military breeds those characteristics. So I guess my first tip would be, or second tip would be, that you have to have the characteristics that they're looking for on your resume. So customer service, discipline, have to be a leader. They like someone that will be the front of their company and the face of their company. So I'm a curve model. I've been in modeling ever since I was in my 20s. I did Fit Plus modeling as well, very lucrative, but you can be beautiful at any size, and I'm not gonna say that looks will deter them from hiring you, but if you are pretty, I have model in my resume because that was at my actual job where I earned a living being a model. That definitely helped me. I believe they do want someone who is attractive, who has a nice appearance, nice teeth, takes care of their skin and hair. That's very important. So they will, moving on to the next tip, they will be looking at your social media. If you have very provocative videos and pictures of yourself, that's not gonna be a good look. They need someone professional. So the first thing what I would do, if you've ever been rejected, I know it's very hard to go through the process and not make it all the way through. Take it from someone that made it through her first chance, her first interview with a major airline. I received a CJO. So I'm telling you, these tips. It's smoking with my hair. I keep coughing. But I'm telling you these tips from firsthand experience. So you want to clean up your social media. You don't want to have any like videos there that would be less favorable or show you in a less favorable or negative light. Think leader. They want a star. So you can highlight any accomplishments that you have. You don't have to have your Instagram or TikTok page public, but if you do have it public, it should be something that will make you come across in a positive light. Another thing is you're going to get an assessment. I can't tell you how to answer. Of course, that's private information, and they're looking to see if your answers are consistent on that assessment. They're also looking for how you think or how you would handle situations, especially customer service situations. You always kind of want to choose how you would love to come across on your best day. So, you know, you want to think about how a company would view your actions. You want to come across as professional, customer oriented. So anything that you choose is going to be more positive. So you have to think like that when you're answering the assessments. Like I said, I got through the assessment the first chance, and that's basically how I answered the questions. Was I being dishonest? No. I try to be as honest as possible, and I think you should too. But just try to be as honest as possible on your most positive day, if that makes sense. For my pre-recorded interview, and sorry I'm skipping around. If I forgot anything, just leave everything in the comments. If you wanna ask a specific question, you can leave it in the comments. I'll try to answer you either directly or in another video. But in the pre-recorded video, you want to dress nice. You want to dress professional. I had on a blazer and I had on maybe like a button-down shirt or a dress, something very nice. Some people love to stick to like the flight attendant colors, like black and white. At that stage in this process, my first application with a major airline, I don't even think I knew like to dress like a flight attendant, and you can do that, but I just dressed nice. I just dressed professional. Like I had my hair done, I had my makeup done. I just dressed as nice as possible, and I looked really put together. I researched the company before I did my recordings. I tried to really show that I knew a lot about the company when I answered those pre-recorded questions. And I always wanted to answer from a safety point of view and a customer service point of view. Whew. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't have a lot of time to do my hair, so I just had to like kill two birds with one stone. So y'all gotta support me though. Keep those likes up, like this video, invest in my tips that I give. It's not gonna be off the cuff like this. It's gonna be researched experience, tips that I give that people have asked me. Also, while I'm at it, join me on TikTok, Real Talk Tina. That also gives some more tips about how to become a flight attendant. I want to say that I have actually been through training with the airline that I'm speaking about, and I got all the way through, until the week before graduation. There was a lot of stuff that went down. I still think it was wrong professionally. And I will talk about the emotional drain that comes with training. They're not just trying to see like if you can give a good answer. They want to see like how you're going to act when you don't have your friends and family around you, when you're not comfortable, when you're in a room with another person that you might hate or hate you. How are you going to act when you're in a metal tube in the sky with this person that you don't like? You still have to maintain professionalism. But it was a lot for 7 weeks to be in with someone. And there's a lot that went on in training that I can talk about if you want to, that may help you. I've written some articles on Medium about kind of what went on. If you want to check those out, I'll leave the links below as well. One more tip that I can give you about this major airline, and I wanted to say that I have been through training 4 times, 2 major airlines, 2 regionals, and I've probably gotten 5 CJOs, but, and that's not to brag, it's research for you, but I know how it is to be dismissed. I know how it is to graduate. I know how it is to have a first day. I know how it is to have a great experience at training. I know how it is to have a bad experience at training. So I got a lot of information. And some of you are listening to this video and maybe you just got dismissed from flight attendant training. And I'm here to tell you that it's not the end of the world. I thought that it was the end of the world when I got dismissed from this particular airline that I'm talking about. And honestly, I love my airline that I'm with right now. It's also a major airline, and they have the things that I need, like a union. They actually go by their mission statement. They care. I think a lot of airlines have the mission statement that they care, and that's one of their rules. They live by their principles. But when you look inside the company and they treat their employees the worst, and I've even known the airline that I'm speaking about with my first training experience to like fire their flight attendants because of things they expressed online, you know? To a certain extent, all airlines do this, but it was for, I think, a valid reason. You'll have to research what went on, but I think some of you that kind of are on the Facebook groups kind of know what was said, and it was like a whole big scandal. And the HR department was like, well, everyone caught up in this is fired. And personally, that's not the way I want my employer to treat me. Like, that doesn't show caring. That doesn't show respect. That doesn't show that you support your employees. So anyways, I just wanted to say that you can get through this, and if you are here after you've gotten dismissed, you can try again. And everything happens for a reason. Even if you don't think there's a reason, even if you don't know why the reason is, I look back in my 4 training experiences and I'm like, dang, if I wouldn't have gone through that, I wouldn't have been able to go through this. I can talk about how much money you need for training, what you need to pack, what the training experience was like at a high level. I can't say specifically what it was like, but I can tell you from my opinion what it was like. If you want to have videos about that, I can do something a little bit more structured if I have questions and stuff. I'll tell you exactly my opinion, the real talk. So this is about 20 minutes. just wanted to give you a few tips to get you started. Go ahead and get your resume together. Make sure you have customer service on there, sales on there. If you're in the military or anything like that, ROTC, make sure that you do that. Make sure you're over 18 or 21, depending on which airline you want to go to, a regional or a major airline. Make sure that you clean up your social media. Oof. Delete any of those pictures. If you have a tattoo on your neck or anything on your hands, you just want to think about trying to erase it or getting that cosmetic procedure to kind of erase the tattoo. Do that before you go to your interview, because I did have one girl actually that was doing her makeup in the bathroom of the face-to-face at that a major airline I was talking about in the South. And she went all the way through training, and she was one of the lucky ones. But I've heard some people have tattoos, and one time maybe their sleeve will just slip up a little bit too far, and an instructor will see that they have a tattoo on their hand or whatever. Dismissed. Automatic dismissal. I have a lot more tips to share, but if I don't do my hair tonight, I'll never do it. And y'all need to support me, because you see I need a new flat iron. This ain't it. So leave your questions, follow, check out my links I'm gonna leave below. And I'll do a follow-up video. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.